Crespi Carmelite players' rendition of Aaron Sorkin's Good Men. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to bow your heads as we ask for the Lord's grace. Please, Lord, we ask that you teach us how to be humble. We ask that you teach us how to love, and we ask for your love. We ask that you show us how to be faithful. We ask this in the name of your Son and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Civilians, if you would please stand and face, put your right hand over the heart and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to turn your cell phones to silent. And I'd like to warn you that there will be a loud noise in the second act. Stop the show.
I, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, have been informed by Special Agent R.C. McGuire of the Naval Investigative Service that I am suspect in murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct unbecoming a United States Marine in the case of Private First Class William T. Santiago. I have been advised that I have the right to remain silent and the right to make no statement at all.
Any statement I make can't be used against me in a trial on my court-martial or other administrative or judicial proceeding. I have the right to consult with a lawyer prior to further questioning.
I am presently assigned to Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta, NAV Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I am a PFC in the United States Marine Corps. I'm assigned to Marine Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta. I've been in the Marine Corps 10 months as of August.
I entered Private Santiago's barracks rooms on the evening of the 6th of July, at or about 23:50. I was accompanied by Private First Class Loudon Downey.
I was accompanied by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
We tied his hands and feet with rope.
We tied Private Santiago's hands and feet with rope and forced a piece of cloth into his mouth.
We placed duct tape over his eyes and mouth.
I've read this two-page statement that Special Agent McGuire prepared for me at my request. While discussing its content, I've been allowed to make all the changes and corrections, initializing those changes and corrections.
These statements are true and factual to the best of my knowledge.
Danny, you know what I just saw? No, but this lady lawyer from Internal Affairs wandering around the hallway. What's she doing? I don't know. Is she stealing anything? No. Tell me why, kid. Ordinarily, when Internal Affairs sends a lawyer around to talk to the other lawyers, it means somebody messed up. Have you done something wrong? No. Do you think it was you? Yes. No. Look, can you do me a favor? Sure. If she talks to you, mentions anything about DeMattis. DeMattis? The engineer? Remember my guy who was caught littering the Admiral's Tulip Garden? I may have cut a few corners. Would you cover for me? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure, no problem. DeMattis, he's an engineer. Yeah, no, littering an Admiral's Tulip Garden. Tulips? Yeah, whatever, okay. Where are you going? I'm representing an enzyme who bought and smoked $10 worth of reg. I thought it was weed. I can only hope so. Not concerned? My softball team is playing Bethesda 100% tomorrow. I can't be concerned with anything. See you at lunch.
Good morning, I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Captain Whitaker, come on in.
I appreciate your seeing me on such short notice.
Well, Bronsky said you're reopening a case.
Yes, sir.
Bronsky and I go way back.
He speaks very highly of you, sir.
Yeah, that's BS, right?
Yes, sir.
I know you, don't I?
I don't believe we formally agree.
You work in Internal Affairs.
Yes, sir.
I hate Internal Affairs.
Yes, sir.
And you're a woman.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all right.
Thank you.
You were the one who recycled those 14B misdemeanors last winter.
Anthony?
14B misdemeanors, drunk and disorderlies. We had them closed.
No, sir, you didn't. The blue copies of the charge sheets weren't filed to division with the IC1.
Who gives a damn?
My boss, the Judge Advocate General?
No, he doesn't care any more than I do. It was you.
It was in the interest of justice.
Okay. Are you here to bother anybody?
No, sir. Not at all. Not me. Only if necessary.
What can I do for you?
2 prisoners are being held in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They pleaded guilty to murder, 2 conspiracy to commit, and conduct unbecoming. Over the weekend, I petitioned Captain Bronsky to deny the guilty pleas and have them brought here to Washington to be assigned counsel.
What's the problem with the guilty pleas? Did somebody misspell conspiracy?
No, sir. Prisoners pleaded guilty at 3 o'clock in the morning during a 20-minute interview at which neither had an attorney present.
So Bronsky's bringing to Washington.
Yes, sir. You'll be receiving a memo from division instructing you to assign an attorney from inside your department, which brings me to why I'm here.
Yes.
I'd like a favor.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
What's the favor?
Tell division you want to assign an attorney outside your department.
Why?
Because I'm an attorney outside your department.
Don't think I'm not grateful.
I brought with me a letter of recommendation from Captain Bronsky.
You know, you're an investigator. Why do you want to get mixed up in drug work?
I don't consider it grunt work, sir.
It's a 5-minute plea bargain and a whole week of paperwork.
I look forward to it with relish.
And can I ask, do you always speak as if your dialogue was written by someone who's not very good at it?
I just want to make sure this is handled properly.
Have you done litigation before?
My first year with the JAG Corps.
How many cases did you handle?
Altogether?
Yes.
6.
How'd you do?
From what perspective?
Your clients.
Not well.
Excuse me, Isaac. This just came in for you. It's from division.
Those cases were lost on their own merit, sir.
This is Commander Galloway.
How do you
Really?
do?
Really enjoyed last Christmas.
That'll be all.
So, what do you say?
Commander, I call you Joanne.
Yes, please.
You know, Joanne, you seem like a fairly harmless, neurotic person,
I appreciate that.
and I'd like to help you out.
Yes.
But there are 2 things preventing me.
Okay.
Now, the first is that while I sincerely believe in your present assignment with Internal Affairs, you did an exceptionally thorough job.
Yes.
But I have a hunch that as a litigator, you know not so much. And the second is that Vision already signed an attorney.
What?
They've already signed someone. Now, I'm not sure exactly why they care, but it's out of my hands now. They want you to brief them. Apparently, you got some letters and documents.
Yes, sir.
I have a staff meeting at 3 o'clock on assignments then. Come by, do your thing, and try not to make anyone cry. Yes, sir. Talk later.
Thank you, Captain.
You can call me Isaac.
And what's the name of the attorney division assigned?
Also on deck, Tin Hut!
Daniel Cap.
Gentlemen, they're going to give you a lawyer. They're going to move you up to Washington, and they're going to give you a lawyer who's going to ask you some questions. Now, I want you to remember something about these lawyers. They don't care about anything. They don't care about honor or loyalty. They don't care about Colonel Jessup, and they don't care about Lieutenant Kendrick. They don't care about me, and they don't care about you. They don't care about anyone. They're clowns. That is why, so help me God, they're the only ones that can save you right now. I want your boys to be smart. Go talk to your lawyer.
I just settled for the OTH. This is the 4th DOA. You're not going to do better than that.
I don't think I need to set for the OT. If I can file a motion to
Whoa, a motion to suppress?
suppress. Absolutely.
On what grounds?
Grounds. It's very strategic against the phone, but
Take the OTH.
Excuse me, I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. I'm sure you have an excuse.
No, I just didn't really care enough about this meeting to be on time.
Just kidding. This is Lieutenant Caffey.
How do you do?
You're a JG.
I beg your pardon?
This is the attorney division assigned.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote a 17-page memo outlining the situation to Captain Bronsky. I pleaded my case in his living room for a half an hour on a Sunday. And division assigns a lieutenant junior grade.
Have I come at a bad time?
Commander Galloway over here is from Internal Affairs.
Oh, whatever Sam did with that guy in the tulip garden, it wasn't his fault. He was touting him. That's that. Thanks a lot. Sam's got a baby at home, and he's sure she's about to say her first word any day now.
How do you know?
She looks like she has something to say.
She's 14 months old. What could she have to say?
We got a pool going if you want to get on. $10.
What's left?
Rosebud?
All right, Captain, with all
Let's
due
get
respect-
started. Danny, Commander Galloway's here because you've been detailed by the division.
Details to do what?
Detailed to handle this. Everybody listen up. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A Marine PFC named William Santiago writes a letter claiming he was named Marine who illegally fired a weapon from his fence over the fence line. He ends the letter by saying he wants to transfer off the base in exchange for his identity.
What's a fence line?
Sam.
Well, it's a big wall separating the bad guys from the good guys.
Okay. Right. The man who fired up the fence line was Santiago's squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold Dawson. But the fence line shooting, however, is completely beside the point.
What's the point?
Santiago's dead.
What happened?
While Harold and another member of the squad, PFC, Loud and Downey, went to Santiago's room, had his hands and feet with rope, and jammed a rag down his throat. The doctor said the rag must have been treated with some kind of toxin.
They poisoned the rat?
Not according to them.
What do they say?
Not much. They're being brought up here tomorrow. Thursday, they're starting to look at the transport down to Cuba for the day. Find out what you can.
Was that 0600 in the morning, sir?
Division wants me to sign backup. Are there any volunteers?
No.
Sam.
Sir, I have a pile of
Work with Kathy on this.
Doing what?
Yeah, various administrative things back and forth around here.
So in other words, I have no responsibilities whatsoever.
Right.
My kind of case.
Lieutenant Captain, how long have you been in the Navy?
I'm sorry.
How long have you been in the Navy?
Going on 9 months now.
Have you ever even been inside a courtroom?
I once had my driver's license suspended.
All right, Captain, we'll all do
It's
later.
the same thing. It's the same if you went to court. Those Marines wouldn't need a lawyer. They need a priest.
No, they need a lawyer.
Excuse me, Isaac. I'd like to say for the record that this is at least fun. I've had one of your staff meetings.
Look, Lieutenant Caffrey here is generally considered one of the best living in our office. He successfully plea-bargained 44 cases in less than a year.
One more, I get a set of statements.
One of the people you'll be talking to down there is Barracks CO Colonel Nathan Jessup. I assume you've heard of him.
Sam? He's been in the papers lately. He's expected to be appointed director of operations for the NSC. Owned by the Corps, very big inside the DOD. How does someone get big inside the DOD? Is he torn? Did he cut an album?
On top is an inventory of Santiago's footlocker the night he died. 4 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 4 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of green socks, 4 pairs of black socks.
Commander,
Yes.
I don't think socks and underwear are going to fit too heavily into our defense.
I'm saying we need to get his belongings back to his family once they've cleared evidence.
Sam, you're in charge of socks and underwear. Oh, so it's a good thing I went to school for 21 years.
These are also the letters that Santiago wrote during his 8 months at Gitmo.
Go on, tell him to obey. I knew that one.
He wrote to his senator, HQ Atlantic, the commandant of the Marines. He wanted a transfer and nobody was listening. Are you with me?
Yes.
So finally, he wrote this letter where he offered information in exchange for a transfer. It's the only physical evidence we have establishing a motive for Dawson to kill Santiago.
Gotcha. And, Santiago is who?
The victim.
Write that down. Am I right in assuming that... Oh, am I right in assuming that a protracted investigation might cause some embarrassment for Sinatra?
Who?
The guy who's hot head of the Pentagon?
Colonel Nathan Jessup, yes, but the point...
12 years.
I'm sorry?
I'll get it knocked down to involuntary manslaughter. 12 years. You'll probably be home in 7.
I don't look at a piece of paper or talk to a witness.
Pretty impressive.
Either that or criminally stupid.
Kids,
Which do you think it
excuse
is
me,
I'm
sir.
thinking right now?
Ma'am, do you have some jurisdiction here I should know about?
Yes. I'm special counsel for internal affairs, Lieutenant. My jurisdiction's pretty much in your face. Read the letters. Thank you for the time, Captain.
Oh, you're not leaving already, are you?
Yeah, I'm afraid I have to audit some paperwork on your name. He was found littering in the Admiral's tube gun. Somebody forgot to document.
Say, Sam. I think she was talking about you. You think?
The two of you, don't get cute down there. Marines will call them there for now.
About what?
About being Marines.
Dear sir, my name is PFC William T. Santiago. I'm a Marine stationed in Marine Barrack, Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm writing to inform you of my problems and to ask for your help. I've been mistreated since the very first day I arrived. I've been punished for passing out on runs when the doctor says I just have heat exhaustion. This is just one incident of mistreatment, and I could say many more, but I do not want to take more of your time than I am allowed. I've written many letters and gotten no response back, so I must try something else. I know of an illegal fence line shooting that took place 4 nights ago. A member of my unit illegally discharged his weapon into Cuban territory. I will give his name in exchange for a transfer. I ask you to help me. Please, sir, I just need to be transferred out of RSC.
Excuse me, sir. Captain Markinson, Lieutenant Dank to see you.
Thank you, Tom. Colonel. Matthew, John, have a seat.
Thank you.
1,000 hours. It's already hot enough to mow the brass off your collar. I mean, I just had a Navy guy in here telling us how we're lucky. Lucky it's 107 degrees outside. How am I supposed to feel about that? Matthew, you've been here the longest. Is this about as hot as it gets, or am I actually trapped in hell?
Colonel, I don't believe it's been as hot since about 84.
84 is pretty bad.
We got to 119 degrees. That's bad.
Capering, half in smoke and half in fire. Moby Dick. John, you don't have to nod your head up and down like you know what I'm talking about when I quote Melville.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to regard you as less of a man because you're not as well read.
Thank you, sir.
I mean that, John.
I appreciate that, sir.
119 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yes, sir.
Well, you must have had guys passing out left and right.
No, the men were okay.
Nobody passed out?
Not that I recall.
Nobody got dizzy? No hyperventilating? No heat exhaustion?
Colonel, no. The men were good.
Impressive.
Thank you.
John, do you know why none of the men back in 84 passed out? Even though it was 119 degrees Fahrenheit by Captain Markinson's reckoning, do you know why none of them fell off the job?
Why, sir?
Because that's what they're trained to do.
Yes, sir.
Who the hell is PSC William T. Santiago?
Officer on deck, 10, hut!
Hello, I'm Commander Joanne Galloway.
Ma'am, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, ma'am. Marine Barracks, Route Security Company in Windward.
Ma'am, Private First Class Lown Downey, ma'am.
Stand easy. I work for the Navy JAG Corps. I'm the one who had you guys brought up here. I wanted to see if there's anything you needed, any questions you had. You know, it's natural if you're a little nervous or frightened, so anything at all, anything you needed.
Permission to speak.
Go ahead.
I got some Batmans and Spider-Mans in my pullover. Send them a dog, I'm sure if you can't scare them out.
Oh, so you think this is a joke?
Oh, ma'am.
What about you? You think this is a joke?
No, ma'am. It's not a joke, ma'am.
You read your article. Sorry.
I apologize to the commander, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing but the books, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing.
You read your Article 31 rights. Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
What about you? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you understand them.
Ma'am, I understand them, ma'am.
Can I get an MP? I'm going to talk to Private Downey Lowe for a moment. Could you take Corporal Dawson to a little cell?
Aye, Commander. Alright, let's move. Hey! I said move it!
Ma'am, permission to be dismissed.
You're dismissed. Hi. Your only living relative is Ginny Miller. Your aunt, on your mother's side, is that right? Ginny Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
She hasn't been contacted yet. Would you like me to take care of that for you? All right. I'll take care of that for you. Private, do you know why you're here?
It's where the guard told me to stand, ma'am.
Can I call you that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where you are? Do you know why you've been arrested?
Really died, ma'am.
Why? Was it an accident, or did you mean to do it? I know about Carmelite law.
Ma'am?
They're going to try and pin you with intent. They're going to try and say this is retaliation in regards to Corporal Dawson's fence line shooting. It wasn't, was it?
Are you a lawyer, ma'am?
No. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not the one representing you.
Captain Marcy told us to talk to our lawyers, ma'am. That's what he told us to do.
Trying to get your glove down. Pick up some dirt with the ball. Let's do it again. Man on first, one down.
Excuse me.
1 second. Sherby, you gotta trust me. If you keep your eye on the ball when it's coming towards you, the chance of you catching that ball increased by a factor of 10. Want to suit up, we can all have you begin.
No thanks. I can't throw and catch things.
That's too bad, because neither can
I wanted to talk to you about Dawson and Downey.
I've done something wrong, haven't I?
I'm wondering why.
Two guys have been sitting in a cell since this morning while their lawyer's outside hitting a ball.
We need to practice.
That wasn't funny.
It was a little funny.
Lieutenant, would you feel really insulted if I asked your supervisor to recommend me counsel?
Why?
I don't want to say this without possibly hurting your feelings, but I don't think you're fit to handle this defense.
You don't even know me. Ordinarily, it takes someone hours to discover I'm not fit to handle a defense. I think there are people that thought that was fun.
I do know you. And I know who your father was. And I know you went to Harvard Law on a Navy scholarship and that you're probably just treading water for the 3 years you got to serve. Just kind of laying low so you can get out and get a real job. And if that's the case, that's fine. I won't tell anyone. But my feeling is that if this case is handled in the fast food, slick-ass, Persian Bazaar manner with which you seem to handle everything else, then something's going to get missed and I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in prison than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
Wow. This may be the wrong time to ask you this, but are you seeing anyone right now? Because I think you and I would be perfect together. It's obvious that you respect me, and that's the foundation for any solid...
Shut up.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think your client's murdered anyone.
Well, we're gonna have to take their word for it, don't you think?
I mean, I don't think there was any intent.
The doctor's report said that Santiago died of asphyxiation was brought on by acute lactic acidosis, and the nature of this acidosis strongly suggests poisoning. I don't know what any of that means. It sounds pretty bad.
The doctor's wrong.
That's a relief. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to use the liar, liar, pants on fire defense.
Downey.
Look, rest assured, I'm completely on top of the situation with Dawson and Donald.
Downey.
Down.
I'll speak to your supervisor.
I understand. You go straight up to Pennsylvania Avenue. It's a big White House with the pillars in front.
Thank you.
I don't think you have much luck, though. I was detailed by division, remember? Somebody over there is under the impression I'm a pretty good lawyer, so while I appreciate your interest in my enthusiasm, I think I can handle myself at this point.
Do you know what code is?
I'm appalled.
Find out.
You're appalled.
Yeah, I am appalled.
Well, that's pretty strong language, Matthew. I mean, I think you need to calm down for a moment before you work yourself into a lather. You're appalled. Santiago's written letters to everyone but Santa Claus complaining about his treatment. He's broken the chain of command. He's threatened to write out a member of his unit. A member of his own squad, for Christ's sake, to mention nothing of the fact that he's a U.S. Marine and he can't run from here to there without collapsing from heat exhaustion. What the hell is going on with Windward, Matthew?
Colonel, I believe this conversation would be more appropriate if it was in private.
That won't be necessary, Colonel. I can handle it.
The way you handle Curtis Barnes, you're doing something wrong,
My methods
Lieutenant.
of leadership are what brought me to this base.
Don't talk over me. I'm still your superior officer.
And I'm yours, Matthew. Now what are we going to do about this?
Transfer Santiago right away, right now.
Transfer Santiago.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you're right. Suppose that's the right thing to do. Now let's do that. On second thought, we can transfer the whole squad off the base. We can do that. Windward. We can transfer the whole Windward division off the base. John, go out of the fence and tell the boys to pack their bags. They're going home. Tom.
Sir?
Give me the president on the phone. We're going to surrender our position in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute, Tom. Don't be the president. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Maybe you should let us think about this for a little longer. You're dismissed. Maybe, instead of giving up because Marines made a mistake, maybe we can train Santiago. What do you think? I mean, I'm just spitballing, but maybe we as Marines have a responsibility to the people of the United States that the men and women charged with security are probably trained professionals. And maybe we have that same responsibility to the other members of the Corps. Yes, I'm sure I read something like that somewhere. You see, I'm trying to think of how I might feel if a Marine was hurt or killed because the PFC in my command didn't know what the hell he was doing. And this brief meditation has brought me around to thinking that your suggestion of transferring Private Santiago, while expeditious and certainly painless, might not be the manner of speaking the American way. Santiago stays where he is. We're going to train him. John, you're in charge. Santiago doesn't make 4646 in his next ProCon report. I'm going to blame you.
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to kill you.
Colonel, I believe that's a mistake.
Matthew, I believe I'll have that word in private with you. John, that's all. Why don't we have lunch at the Oak Club so we can discuss how to train in private?
I'd be delighted.
You're dismissed. Oh, Matthew, sit, please.
Yes, sir.
What do you think he can't drink this?
My opinion of John.
Yeah, I think he's kind of pleased myself.
All right.
But he's an awfully good officer, and we see eye to eye on a run of Marine Corps units. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. With every degree that we allow ourselves to fall from our profession, more people die. And I believe that taking a Marine as a weak link and sending him off to another assignment is the same as sending a kid into the jungle with a weapon that backfires.
Colonel, you don't
Sit down! Now I'm younger than you, Matthew. And if this is a source of tension, embarrassment for you, I don't care. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. Don't ever question my orders in front of another officer.
Officer on deck, Tan Hood!
Ah,
Yes, sir. Lance Corporal Harold D. Dawson, sir.
someone hasn't been working and playing well with other girls.
Sir, private first class Lam Downing, sir.
I'm Daniel Caffey. I'm your attorney. This is Sam Weinberg. He's from the A.C. Nielsen Media Research. He's going to talk to you guys about view preferences in the Caribbean Command. You can take a seat. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. Is this your signature?
Sir, yes, sir.
And you certainly don't have to do it twice in one sentence. What's the code red?
Sir?
You really don't have to call me sir. What's the code red?
Sir, the code red is a disciplinary engagement.
What's that?
A Marine falls out of line. It's the responsibility of the men in his unit to get it back on track.
Did you know this?
It's like a hazel.
What's a garden variety code red?
Sir?
Harold, you say sir, and I turn around and look for my father. Garden variety. Typical. What's a basic code red?
Sir, a Marine is refused to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his squad will give him a GI shower.
What's that?
Scrub brushes, pillow pads, and steel wool.
Beautiful.
Was the attack on Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Does he ever talk?
Sir, Private Downey will answer any direct questions that you ask him, sir.
Swell. It says in the report you guys and I putting poison on the rat. What were you gonna do?
Sir?
What was your intent?
Just gonna shave his head, sir. Just shave his head.
And all of a sudden,
We saw blood dripping. Pull the tape off, pull the gag out, sir.
was there more blood?
All down his face. Corporal Dawson called the ambulance.
You called the ambulance.
Yes, sir.
This wasn't in the report.
We were never asked about it, sir.
Did anyone see you call the ambulance?
No, sir.
Were you there when the ambulance arrived?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest.
I want to talk to you guys about something. It's called attorney-client privilege. It means you guys can say whatever you want here, but we're not allowed to repeat it to anybody without your permission. It's against the law. We took an oath. Sam, you took an oath, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sam took an oath. Harold, did you attack Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
Train him, sir.
Train him to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself, sir. Train him to respect the code.
What's the code?
Who cares?
No, what's the code?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
I beg your pardon?
Our code is Unit, Corps, God, Country, sir. That's our code, sir.
Seems to be working out well for you.
We'll be back. If there's anything you guys need, paper, cigarettes, a ham sandwich.
No, thank you, sir.
Harold, there's a concept I think you better start getting used to.
Sir?
I'm the only friend you've got.
Dan Cappy.
Smiling Jack Ross.
Hope the Dawson and Downey take you practice law better than you play softball.
Unfortunately for Dawson and Downey, I don't do anything better than I play softball. What are we looking at, Jack?
They played the manslaughter. I'll drop the conspiracy and the bad conduct. 20 years. You'll be home in half the time.
I want 12, Jack.
I can't do that.
They called the ambulance.
I don't care if they called the Avon lady. They killed a Marine.
The rag was tested for poison. The autopsy lab report, even initial ER and COD, all say the same thing. Maybe, maybe not.
The chief of internal medicine at Guantanamo Naval Hospital says he's sure.
What do you know about code reds?
Oh shit. Are we off record?
No, we're not.
Look, I'll give you the 12 years. Before you go down there and get yourself in trouble, you should know this. The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, had a meeting with the men and specifically told them not to touch Private Santiago.
Talk to me when I get back.
Do we have a deal?
I'll talk to you when I get back. Come on in.
Thank you.
Any luck getting me replaced?
Is there anyone in this command you don't drink or play softball with?
Commander?
You can call me Joe.
Joe? I have no inbred hostility towards you, I really don't. But if you ever talk to one of my clients again without my permission, I'll have you disbarred.
I had authorization.
Your authorization from where?
Jenny Miller, Downey's closest living relative on his mother's side.
You got authorization from Aunt Jenny?
I thought you might be concerned. I gave her a call. Working from the province.
You got authorization from Aunt Jenny.
Very nice woman. We talked for about an hour.
Does Aunt Jenny own a barn? Maybe we have the trial there. I could sew his costumes. Maybe his Uncle Goober could be the judge.
More good news. My office has been encouraging me to get out of the district more and observe how our lawyers are working in the field. Guess where I'm going tomorrow?
A target range.
I'm going down to Cuba with you.
And the hits just keep on coming.
Yes. My baby spoke. My dog said a word.
She made a sound. I don't think that's a word.
Oh, come on, it was a word.
Okay.
You heard her? The girl sat there, pointed, and said paw. She did. She said paw.
She was pointing at a doorknob.
That's right. As I say, look, paw, a doorknob.
Jack Rawson came by and see me today. He offered me 12 years.
Good, that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I'll take it.
So,
It took 45 seconds. You barely put up a fight.
Danny, take the 12 years. It's a gift.
You don't believe this story, do you? You think they should go to jail for the rest of their lives?
I believe every word they said, and I think they need to go to jail for the rest of their lives.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, remember to wear your whites. It's hot down there.
I don't look good in whites.
Nobody looks good in whites, but we're going to Cuba in July. You got Dramamine?
Dramamine keeps you cool?
You guys sick when you fly?
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of crashing into a mountain. I don't think Dramamine will help with that.
I got some oregano. That works pretty well.
Yeah. You know, Ross said the strangest thing to me before I left. He said the platoon commander specifically told the men not to touch Santiago.
So?
I never mentioned Kendrick. I don't even know who he is. What the hell? I'll see you tomorrow.
Turn hut!
Squad leaders, front and center, report.
Sir, Corporal Dunn, Alpha Squad present, sir. Corporal Hamburger Bravo present.
Sir, Corporal Howard Charlie's present. Sir, Lance Corporal Dawson. Delta's present, Lance 2.
Private Santiago's been excused from this meeting. It's Private Downey.
Donnie raided into the switch, sir. His Jeep blew out. He and Pickup are making it back by foot.
Pass on my words to the private. Anything I say at this meeting is to be considered a direct order to the members of your squads. Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Revelations 2. I know thy works, and I know thy labor. How thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and hast found them to be liars. If you're PFC and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your corporal, sir!
If you're a corporal and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your sergeant, sir!
Private Santiago of Delta Squad has made wretched our code and laid waste our priorities. Priorities!
Unit, Corps, God, country!
Go!
Unit, Corps, God, fight for? Unity, core, God, country. What are we here to fight for? Unity, core, God, country. Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be right? Sir, no, sir. Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be good? Sir, no, sir.
Well done.
Sir.
How about my boys of Alpha? You think you could show Santiago how to be right?
Sir, yes, sir. Anyone in Alpha touches him, and you'll answer to me. Sir. Is that clear? Sir, yes, sir.
Alpha's dismissed. Corporal Hammer.
Sir.
How about my brave men of Bravo? I turn this over to you in Santiago's waiting by sunrise. Am I right?
Sir, yes, sir. Anyone in Bravo touches them, and you'll be filling sandbags till you beg for mercy.
Dismissed. Corporal Howard.
Sir!
I have two things to say. First, I believe in my heart that you and the men of Charlie's Squad are outstanding Marines, and that your influence over the private would be invaluable. And the second is that the United States government maintains a military installation inside the Arctic Circle. And you and the men of Charlie's Squad will find yourselves scraping icicles off of igloos in a heartbeat if you so much as look funny at the private. Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
Charlie's dismissed. Lance Corporal Dawson.
Sir! Lift your head and lift it high! Lift your head and lift it high! Delta Company's passing by!
Delta Company's passing by!
I don't know what I've been told!
I don't know what I've been told!
All Marines are mighty bold!
All Marines are mighty bold!
Sound off!
1, 2!
Sound off!
3, 4!
Sound off!
1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Lieutenants Kathy and Weinberg?
Yes.
I'm the band of Galloway, sir.
Cover Howard, ma'am. I'm just worried when we're inside the base.
Thank you.
As with camouflage jackets and jeans, sir, I'm going to have to ask you both to put them on.
Camouflage jackets?
Yes, sir. Regulation. We're riding pretty close to the fence. If you see an officer wearing white, they think it's someone they want to take a shot at.
Good call, Sam.
Jeep's right over there. Then we'll just hop on the ferry. We'll be there in no time.
Well, we have to take a boat?
Yes, sir, to get to the other side of the bay.
Marcus never mentioned anything about a boat.
Is there a problem, sir?
No. No problem. I'm just not crazy about boats, that's all.
Jesus Christ, Kathy, you're in the Navy, for crying out loud. You want to get a hold of yourself?
Nobody likes her very much.
Yes, sir.
Nathan Jessup, come on in and sit down.
Thank you. This is Commander Galloway. Should be observing and evaluating.
How do you do?
This is Sam Weinberg. He has no responsibilities here whatsoever.
I've asked Captain Markinson and Lieutenant Kendrick to join us. Matt is my second in command, and John is heads over the windward side.
Lieutenant Kathy? I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. He spoke in my high school.
Lionel Kathy? Well, Jiminy goddamn cricket. John, you too young to know this, but this man's father once made a lot of enemies down your neck of the woods. Jefferson v. Madison County School District. Folks down there said it was alright for the kids to play the Lord's Prayer in the classroom, and Lionel Kathy said no, it wasn't. I'll tell you something else. If Adlai Stevenson had been elected, he'd be saying this to the Attorney General's son. So, how the hell is your dad?
I beg your pardon?
Still trying to fuck with the government?
No, not anymore.
Oh, no, he didn't pass away, did he?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, son.
It was 7 years ago.
Well, I feel like the ass.
Not at all, sir.
What can we do for you, Danny?
Not much at all. I'm afraid this is a formality more than anything. The Jack Court Society interviewed all the relevant witnesses.
The Jack Corps can be demanding that way?
It shouldn't take more than an hour.
John, check your watch. Go.
Look, you saw Willie. Could be worse. Could be someone else.
Now, I'm the morning since you were contacted by NIS agent who said Santiago was going to take off and leave your friends lunch you.
Yes.
And in return for the name of this person who was going to get a transfer.
That's right.
If I'm leaving any details out, you should feel free to speak up.
Thank you.
It was at this time that you had a meeting with your two senior officers, Captain Marks and Lieutenant Kendrick. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's right.
And what happened?
Well, we agreed that for his safety, Santiago should be transferred off the base immediately.
Santiago was going to be transferred.
I'm the first available flight in the States. 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours too late.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's all we have.
Wait a minute. I have some questions.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You really don't.
Yes, I really do. Colonel, at 3 o'clock in the morning, the attending physician, Commander Stone, was unable to determine the cause of death. At 5 a.m., he said it was poison. Do you have any idea what might have persuaded the doctor?
You have to ask Stone.
Did you meet with the doctor between 3 and 5?
Of course I met with a doctor. One of my men was dead.
See, one of his men was dead. Let's go.
Lieutenant Kendrick, do you think Santiago was murdered?
I think you're right.
I'm just curious. You know all these men. Was Santiago murdered?
Commander, I believe in God and in His Son Jesus Christ, and because I do, I can say this. Santiago is dead. That's tragic. But he's dead because he had no code. He's dead because he had no honor, and God was watching.
Well, thanks for that theory.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Look at this. Christmas card I'm not gonna get.
I was under the impression that Lieutenant Captain was doing this investigation.
It's an easy mistake to make.
Come on, I'm sorry. She wasn't trying to.
Have you ever heard the term code red, sir?
I've heard the term, yes.
This past February, you received a cautionary memo from the Commander-in-Chief of the Atlantic Fleet, warning that the practice of code reds was not to be condoned by officers.
And I submit to you who overwrote that memo has never served in the working end of the Soviet-made Cuban AK-47 assault rifle. However, the directive coming in from the commander, I gave this due attention. Now what's your point, Joey?
She has no point. She often has no point. It's part of her charm.
My point is what looks like premeditated murder may have just been a botched up code red. Do code reds still happen on this base, Colonel?
The colonel doesn't have to answer.
Yes, he does.
He really does.
Yes, he really does, Colonel.
It just hit me. She outranks you, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you something. And listen up, because I mean this. There is nothing sexier on heaven and earth than a woman you have to salute to. But more than all I say, because this is true. You're like the best if I just pass you by.
The practice of code reds is still going on this base,
You
isn't
see,
it?
my problem is that I'm a colonel. So until they let some gal president, I'm just going to keep taking cold showers.
I need an answer to my question, sir.
You'll get an answer.
I need it now, sir.
Take caution in your tone, Commander. I'm a fair guy, but this heat's making me absolutely crazy. You want to know about code reds? On the record, I tell you I discourage the practice in accordance with the commander's directive. Off the record, I tell you they're an invaluable part of close infantry training, and if they happen to go on without my knowledge, so be it. I run my unit how I run my units. Now, if you want to investigate me, roll the dice and take your chances. But it's not like you're going to come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous. I eat breakfast 80 yards from 4,000 Cubans trained to kill me.
Let's go.
The corporal has the jeep waiting for you, Lieutenant. He'll take you back to the flight line.
Thank you. I'll just need a copy of that transporter.
What was that?
I'll just need a copy of Santiago's transporter. You guys have paperwork on that kind of stuff. I just need for the file.
For the file.
Yeah.
Of course, you need a copy of the transporter. For the file. Here to help you in any way I can, Daddy.
Thank you.
I'll have the corporal running by personnel. How about the transporters?
Let's go.
Don't you have to ask me nicely?
I beg your pardon?
You have to ask me nicely. I don't mind the blood and the bullets standing. I don't mind the heat and the stress and the fear. I don't want money and I don't want medals. What I do want is for you to stand there in that white uniform with your hardened mouth and extend me some goddamn courtesy. You have to ask me nicely.
Colonel, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, I'd like a copy of that transfer order. Sir.
No problem. First thing we do is kill the lawyers.
That's Shakespeare, Lieutenant.
Matthew, I hate casualties. When a Marine smuggles a grenade, he's doing his job. These are casualties, even in victory. The foundation of the unit, the spirit of the Corps, these are things we're fighting for. And there's no one that doesn't know that that's ever made a decision to put on the uniform. Dawson and Downey, they're smuggling a grenade.
Just the same, sir. If I were you, I'd get myself a lawyer.
Yeah, when you get back, take a shower and hit the rack. Take a shower and hit the rack. Oh no, not me. Oh no, not us. What are you gonna do when you get back? All the chauffeurs sneak attack.
Also, Deck 10, huh?
Why did you care that Santiago was writing a letter?
Sir?
I want to know why you cared.
It was a code red, sir.
Colonel Jessup thinks you're full of it. He doesn't think you were trying to train him. He thinks you were trying to kill him.
That's not true, sir.
What's true? Why do you care?
It was a code red, sir.
4,000 men on that base, and none of them went into his room that night?
I was the squad leader, sir. It was my job.
He was screwing up every day for 8 months. And you never went into his room before that night. Why did you care that night?
Santiago...
Not you. Him. Why do you care?
I saw you wrote the chain.
No! I don't want to hear about your chain of command. I don't want to hear about your loyalty or bozo code of honor. Why did you give him a code red?
I saw you
No! Did you hear what I just said?
You needed to learn.
Bullshit! Why did you give him a code
Your
red?
responsibility to teach him.
Why did you give him a code red?
Because God was watching.
God is watching, Lance Corporal Dawson. And he helps those who help themselves. So do I. Unit, Corps, God, country. And duty to self simply isn't a part of that equation. Get your house in order, Lance Corporal, so that these men can believe in you again. Get your house in order, so that the Lord, our God, can look down and say, there is a United States Marine, and I will stand at his side. Get your house in order. Don't let anyone ever tell you.
You give it an order?
Yes, sir.
Kendrick ordered the code red.
Yes, sir.
He told every other man in that meeting not to touch Santiago. Then he told you to. I've got to talk to the government prosecutor. You mind telling me why you never mentioned this to me before?
You didn't ask us, sir.
Cutie pie shit is not going to win you a place in my heart, Colonel. I get paid no matter how much time we spend in jail.
Yes, sir. I know you do, sir.
Harold, I'll be back.
What'd they say?
I want you to stop following me. I want you to get off my back. I want you to get off this case.
Parkinson went you, eh?
What?
Unauthorized
I
absence?
know what it means. When?
Tonight after we left.
I'll talk to him in the morning.
You can't. I already tried. Nobody can find him.
You already tried? Do you understand what it means, interfering with the government investigation?
I do. But I'm not, because I'm now Loudon Downey's attorney.
What the hell are you talking about?
Aunt Ginny. God, love that woman. She feels like she's known me for years. And she said she'd feel more comfortable if I were directly involved with the case. Loudon signed the papers a half hour ago. But don't worry, you're lead counsel, and I defer to your skills as a litigator, so I won't make a motion to separate. What'd they say?
You You frighten me. I'm involved in a situation where the stakes couldn't be higher. I'm not going to take time out to give tutorials on criminal procedure to an eternal fair schoolgirl who doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
I just melt. When you sugar talk me, Danny, what'd they say?
Did you go to the comrade?
What did you know?
Find Jack Rose.
I'm out of the platoon.
I don't need to.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, they all say the same thing.
They didn't. Kendrick dismissed the rest of the platoon. You talked to Kendrick.
I already talked to Kendrick. I told you before he went down there, he denies everything.
You talked to Kendrick?
Yeah,
You talked to Kendrick?
I didn't think anything.
Why did you think there was anything
Joe,
to
look, I
deny?
have a
You had a
suspicion.
suspicion and you
It's not
chose not to
important.
share with
It
anyone?
was just a... Who is this?
This is Commander Galloway. She's Downey's attorney. She's very pleased to meet you.
Ebenezer Galloway?
How are you getting information?
You want to
yourself?
charge me something,
Why
man?
didn't
You want to charge me something, man?
Hey, everybody! This is Justice. Take a deep knee bend.
Joe, Ross didn't know about the order. Because if he did, he knows he'd be violating about 14 articles of the Code of Ethics. As it is, he's got enough on his plate. God forbid our clients decide to plead not guilty and claim for the record that these things happen every day.
Kendrick specifically told
And then
me
he specifically told Dawson Downey to shave his head.
That's not what Kendrick said.
Kendrick is crazy, Kendrick is mean, and Kendrick is lying.
You have proof?
I have to defend it.
I have 23 men who aren't accused of murder and a Marine lieutenant with 4 stars of commendation.
Why did Markinson go UA?
We'll never know.
You don't think I can subpoena Markinson?
You can try, but you won't find him.
What the hell are you talking about, Jack?
You know what Markinson did for the first 17 of his 21 years in the Corps? CIC, Danny, counterintelligence. Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. Look, Colonel Jessup Star is on the rise, and there could be a lot of room for spares and bears.
How much room?
I can knock it all down to assault. 2 years. They'll be home in 6 months.
He's got a PR problem, Danny. He can't afford to go to court.
Which is lucky for you because you're trying to agree with the thought of it. Yes, taking this to court would be bad for me. It would be bad for the Corps, and I'd be held responsible for how the officers are treated as witnesses. But you take this to court, and the boys go away for 40 years.
Jack, come on.
Are we clear on that? We have to be clear on that. Because once I step outside of this room, I have to put the hammer down. They'll be charged with a boatload, murder, conspiracy, conduct unbecoming. And in a courtroom, you lose this case. Please, Danny, I'm your friend, and I'm telling you, I don't think you guys belong in jail, and I think Kendrick's lying. But I don't get to make that decision. I represent the people without passion, you see, and the people have a case. Look, tell them to plead assault. All in all, it's not a bad week's worth of defense. That's the end of this negotiation. 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'll see you at the array.
Say, boys. I talked to the government prosecutor and he said, I recommend 2 years with probation after 6 months. Wow, Kathy, you're a great lawyer. How could we ever thank you? Just doing my job, fellas. Fellas, you're going home in 6 months.
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir.
Do what?
Make a deal.
What are you talking about?
We did nothing wrong, sir. We did our job. If that has consequences, then I will accept them. But I will not say I'm guilty, sir.
Did you put them up to this?
No.
We have a code, sir.
Well, zippity-doo-dah! You guys plead not guilty, and you're gonna go to jail for the rest of your lives. Do what I'm telling you, and you'll be home in 6 months.
Permission to
Speak!
What do you do then, sir?
When?
After 6 months. We get a dishonorable discharge, right?
Probably.
What the hell do you expect us to do then, sir? We didn't join the Corps because we felt like it. We joined because it was the right decision. We wanted to live by a code, sir, and we found it in the Corps. And now, you're asking us to sign a piece of paper that says we have no honor. You're asking us to say that we're not Marines. If that court decides what we did was wrong, I'll accept whatever punishment they give. But I believe I was right, sir. I believe I did my job. Now I'll not dishonor myself, my unit, or the Corps, just so I can go home in 6 months, sir.
You guys are a freak show. Doesn't like me, he's gonna go to jail despite that. I want to get him a new lawyer.
Alright, Judge asked for a plea of 8 is wrong. Then we'll explain the situation there.
That's that.
Yeah. One thing though, when you ask the judge for new counsel, be sure and ask nicely.
What do you want from me?
I want you to stand up and make an argument. I want you to let them be judged.
Cali at my life. Are you going to work for the Nazis at Nuremberg?
For Christ's sake, Sam. Do you honestly think that's the same as two Marines executing a routine order that they believed would not cause any harm? These guys aren't the Nazis.
Don't look now, Danny, but you are getting a position.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm getting Dawson down in the morning.
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer?
Look!
Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Hey. Dawson and Downey will have their day in court, but it'll be with a different lawyer.
Another lawyer won't be good enough. They need you.
Why?
Because you know how to win. I know how to fight, but you know how to win.
I know the law.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank. Live with that.
Sam? Why is it that a junior grade with 6 months of experience and a record for plea bargaining could sing it out to handle a murder trial? Would it be to make sure it never sees the inside of a courtroom?
Run all day, today is done. Run all day, today is done. Left, right, 1, 2, go right, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
How you doing, Harold? Let's make a deal here. It's 6 months. It's a hockey season. I mean, in the end, what does it really matter?
Do you think you're right?
It doesn't matter what I think.
Do you think that we were right?
It's not a matter of right and wrong.
Yes, it is. It always is. It's something that people like you say, but it is. Do you think we're guilty?
What do you mean, people like me?
Do you think we're guilty?
I think you lose.
You're such a coward. I cannot believe they let you wear a uniform.
Call me a coward again.
You're a goddamn...
You're going to Fort Leavenworth, and there's nothing I can do about it. I could have gotten you home in 6 months. I'm not going to feel responsible for you anymore. Can I get an MP? What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
Alright, where are we? Docket number 411-275, VR5. United States versus Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson and Private First Class Lowndown. Defendants are charged with murder in the second degree, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct of becoming a United States Marine.
Does defense wish to enter a plea?
Yeah. They're not guilty.
Enter a plea of not guilty for the defendants. We'll adjourn until 1000 hours, 1 week from today, at which time we'll reconvene as a general court-martial. I'll see counsel in my chambers now.
Say, boys.
Yes, sir.
Don't look at me and say, sir, like I just asked you to claim the truth. You guys aren't in the military anymore. You guys are in jail. Get some rest and don't talk to anybody except the three of us. You're dismissed. Danny, they were given an order. An illegal order. Do you honestly think these guys know what a legal order is? I don't know what a legal order is.
He's a human being with no...
They're not permitted to question an order, period.
What's the secret? What's the magic word? I give orders every day and nobody follows them.
We work at a place where there are softball teams and marching bands. They work at a place where if you don't wear a camouflage jacket, you might get shot. What are you looking at?
What made you change your mind?
Not you.
The law says you can't do what they did. It's as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that. We're a defense counsel. We position the truth. What do they teach you?
To tell the truth, not position.
They taught you wrong. Hey, kid, I'll decide how our time is spent and how it's wasted. If you have a problem with that, Downey can stand separate trial.
And you're still an asshole, you know.
We work at my place every night, 7 o'clock. Joe, before you come over, I need you to pick up some legal pads. Half a dozen boxes of red pens, half a dozen boxes of blue pens. Sam, pick up some desk tables and some lamps. I'll get started on the medical profile, but I need you guys to get Dawson, Downey, and Santiago's pro-con reports.
I'll get them.
Work with Dawson every night, Stephen Marine. Okay. Work with Downey 2 hours a day. Get him to start squinting when he talks. He looks shifty. And all I've got in my place is you and Sugar Smack, so bring whatever you guys want. And don't wear that perfume. It wrecks my concentration.
Really? Yeah.
I was talking to Sam. So this is what a courtroom looks like.
John, give the Lord a rest, will you please? You look like hell. Give yourself some rest. You're dismissed. I know you have more tests to run. I don't want to pin you to anything, so I'll ask you this. What are the possibilities at this point?
It could have been a number of things, Nathan. We know they used the gag. They could have choked him. They could have put poison on the rag. They could have scared the living daylights out of him and given him a heart attack. Point is, we may never know. It's just a judgment call.
A heart attack?
He does have a medical history that suggests a slight possibility of a coronary disorder.
Why wasn't this coronary disorder detected before?
I said the
That's not an answer.
The symptoms, Santiago's symptoms, they point to 100 far less debilitating conditions. There were no red flags.
Oh, is that what we're going to say to a board of inquiry?
Excuse me, sir?
Doctor, you give these men a thorough examination every 3 months. And every 3 months, you send Santiago back on that wall with a clean bill of health. Am I wrong?
The symptoms...
Doctor, you tell me. What could happen to a doctor's career? Something like this. You know what I think happened? I don't think it was a code red. I think Dawson and Downey got into their heads to kill Santiago. I think, like you said, I think there had to have been poison on the rat.
It's a possibility, sir.
How long do we know each other?
4 years, sir.
Close on a 5. First thing I did when I got this command was request your assignment to the hospital. And the first thing I was going to leave this place is for folks in the situation on walls with the big stones and with me. I put my trust in you, Walter. I put the lives of my Marines in your hands. That's why I think it had to be poison. Back and run those tests. You're the doctor. Hey, you're the damn good doctor. Whatever you say, I'll live with. Now, there's going to be an investigation into the cause of death, and I'll do everything I can for you.
Thank you, sir.
You're dismissed. Tom.
Sir.
Find me Captain Markinson.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir.
Harold, why do you do that? I'm representing you in a murder trial. Do you honestly think I don't know who you are? I thought we were through with this the night I struck an innocent man without any cause of provocation. Which I couldn't help but notice that you didn't report to anybody. Look, I wanted to come by and give you some words of encouragement. Sit up straight. Look, I know I'm talking to a brick wall here, but there are two things I'd like you to consider before we get started. The first is that Commander Galway and Lieutenant Weinberg and I are doing everything we possibly can for you. And the second is, we're gonna get creamed. Now I know that's not very confident and inspiring.
It's alright. I'm not the one who means confidence anymore. After all, you know things have consequences too, right?
Yeah, but you see, they're not my consequences to accept.
That almost makes it a little bit worse, sir.
Harold, we're gonna lose. And we're gonna lose huge. Sit up straight.
Turn hood! All those having business with this General Court Martial, please stand forward and you shall be heard. Colonel Julius Alexander Randolph is presiding. God save the United States of America.
Before the judge advocate calls his first witness, I'd like to get some language clear. And without objection, the sworn statements made by the defendants have been read to the members and entered into court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection. And without objection, the sworn statements made by the 21 members of Rifle Security Company has been read to the members and entered into court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection. Is the government prepared to present its case?
We are, sir.
Please, the court. Before we begin, may I ask if all these MPs are really necessary?
Are they making you nervous?
No, but they project the image that the defendants are dangerous or a flight risk.
The court might alert Commander Galloway to the fact that the defendants are on trial for murder.
The defendants, who have not been found guilty of any crime, are in handcuffs, and I'm sure that if they were to break free and make their escape, the 4 armed guards at the door could apprehend them. In fact, it would appear that every sailor that is not in this courtroom is guarding this courtroom.
Judge, the Provost Marshal thought this would be a security priority. The Provost Marshal was in charge of security on this base. I was just following his orders.
Well, the Provost Marshal is going to feel like an idiot if someone steals one of the ships during our trial.
Take your seat, Commander.
Government calls Commander Stone.
Call Commander Stone!
Commander Stone, for the record, would you state your full name, rank, and current billet, please?
Commander Walter Stone. My billet is Internal Medicine Specialist at Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital.
See.
Thank you.
Doctor, about how long have you been attached to the hospital in Gitmo?
From October 1st of last year to the present.
And on 7th July of this year, did you have an occasion to treat Private First Class William Santiago?
I did.
Could you describe that treatment?
Private First Class Santiago was brought into the emergency room on the morning of the 7th at 0010. He was coughing up blood and suffering from a loss of oxygen. He lost consciousness at 0035.
And what were your observations upon examination?
First looking at the subject, I could tell that he had rope marks around his wrist and a partially shaved head. After further tests and x-rays, we could tell that there was some type of fluid, an acidosis that had filled his lungs, that is to say, acid buildup in his lungs.
And from the moment, what causes acid to build up in a person's lungs?
When the muscles and other cells decide to burn sugars instead of oxygens, you get a lactic acid.
And from the moment the cells start burning sugar to the moment that the lungs are filled with acid, about how long does that take?
Ordinarily, about an hour.
doctor, you say ordinarily. Was this an unusual case?
Yes.
How so?
In Santiago's case, the chemical reaction took less than 15 minutes.
What was the reaction sped up in Santiago's case?
He must have ingested some type of poison.
Doctor,
we object to this point. The witness can only speculate as to what caused the reaction.
Dr. Stone is an expert medical witness. In this courtroom, his opinion is not considered speculation.
Commander Stone is an internist, not a criminologist, and the medical facts are ultimately inconclusive.
A point which I'm confident you'll illustrate to the jury on your cross-examination, so I'm sure you won't mind if the doctor's opinion be admitted now.
Not at all, sir. Objection.
Dr. Stone, did Willie Santiago die of poison?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Are you aware that the lab report showed no traces of poison?
I am.
Then how do you justify
There
saying...
are literally dozens of toxins that are virtually undetectable in certain circumstances. The nature of the acidosis is the confounding factor in this issue.
Doctor?
Don't call him doctor.
Right, good. Commander, besides the roll marks, was there any sign of external damage?
No.
No cuts?
No.
No scrapes?
No.
Bruises? Broken bones? Fat lip?
No.
Commander, was there any sign of violence?
You mean aside from the dead body?
Is that every time?
Your witness.
Commander, my clients claim that they didn't use poison, so what I'd like to do here is just ask a few questions to see if there couldn't possibly be another explanation.
Lieutenant, there are no other explanations. A layman.
A layman? Pardon me, Commander, but you're talking to a man who got a C+ in biochem twice. Now, if I understand correctly, the fact that this process took 15 minutes, and not 60 minutes, is what led you to your conclusion that Santiago had been poisoned.
That's correct.
60 minutes is about average?
Yes.
And some people it might be more, and some people it might be less.
A little bit more, a little bit less.
Commander, is it possible for someone to have an affliction or a condition which would render that person being less capable of withstanding the lactic acid? Commander, is it possible?
If a person had a cerebral disorder, I suppose it would take less than an hour.
What about a coronary disorder or condition? I think it's called a coronary
We're
condition.
talking about an 18-year-old Marine, Lieutenant, in extraordinary condition.
The Marine Corps requires them to maintain a standard of physical fitness, is that right?
That's correct. Even harder for a Marine than RSC.
In fact, you give them the thorough examination once every 3 months, right?
Yes, sir.
Doctor, is it possible for a young man to have a coronary condition with initial warning signs so mild that he'd escape a doctor during a routine medical exam?
Lieutenant, as much as we'd love to be exact in this...
Well, that's the beauty of being the defense. I don't have to worry about exact. I just have to worry about, is it possible? Is it possible?
There would have to be symptoms.
What kind of symptoms?
There are hundreds of symptoms.
Shortness of breath?
Yes.
Chest pains?
Certainly.
Fatigue?
I suppose if the brain, if the heart were pumping blood, is certain.
Is this your signature?
Yes.
This is an order for Private Santiago to be put on temporary restricted duty. Would you read your handwritten remarks at the bottom of the page, please?
Initial test negative. Patient talks of shortness of breath, fatigue. Restrictions require no running over 5 miles for the next week.
Thank you. No further questions.
Initial testing negative. That's what it says here. What kind of tests were these?
All in the manner.
Cardiovascular tests?
Yes.
Endurance? Strength? And all, how many tests were administered to Private Santiago?
17.
And in any of these 17 tests, was there an indication that there was something wrong with Santiago's heart?
No.
Dr. Stone, the equipment you have at the CCU of Gitmo, would you describe it as modern or outdated?
Very modern.
In fact, it's the same equipment used here at the CCU of Bethesda Naval Hospital here in Maryland. The same Bethesda Naval Hospital that the President goes for his medical checkups.
That's correct.
Dr. Stone, You've held a license to practice medicine for over 20 years. You are board certified in internal medicine, and you serve at a hospital that serves over 7,000 people. In your opinion, was Julie Santiago poisoned?
Please, the court. We renew our objection to Commander Stone's testimony and ask that it be stricken from the record. And we further ask the court to instruct the jury to lend no weight to this witness's testimony.
The objection is overruled, Commander.
Your Honor, the defense strenuously objects and requests a conference so you may hear discussion before ruling on the objection.
The objection of the defense has been heard and overruled. The witness is an expert, and the court will hear his opinion.
Exception.
Noted.
Dr. Stone, in your expert opinion, is Julie Santiago poisoned?
No doubt about it.
Randy, you can step down.
Thank you.
Please the court. Though the government reserves its right to call rebuttal witnesses should the need arise, we rest our case.
We'll stand in recess until Monday morning, at which time the defense can call its first witness.
Turn head!
I strenuously object. Is that how it works? Objection. Overruled. No. I strenuously object. Oh, well, if you strenuously object, let me take a moment to reconsider.
I got it on record.
You also got in the jury's head that we're afraid of the dog. You object once, thinking you're not a criminologist. Anymore, it looks a great costly did with a lot of fancy literature. Which is just what Ross was hoping for. It's going to be paper law and trial.
Sam!
Chris, given the judge saying Stone's
She made a mistake. Let's not relive it.
Sorry, I'm going to piss you. Tell my wife.
Why do you hate them so much?
They beat up on a weekly. And that's all they did. It was just smoke-filled coffeehouse crap. They beat up on a weekly, and it wasn't just that day, it was 8 months. Read the letters. They tortured and tormented a weaker kid. And why? Because he couldn't run very fast.
Do you think the argument we're going to make on Monday is legally sound?
I think the argument we're going to make on Monday is morally reprehensible.
Since when do lawyers get to decide what's morally reprehensible?
Since when do Marines get to decide
That's
what's
enough!
obey?
Joe, he's busting his ass for these guys. He doesn't have to be their friend. And Sam, the only Marines you should be concerned with are Dawson and Downey. Everyone take the night off. No, I mean it. We've been working 18 hours a day for 2 weeks. Spend the night with your family. Joe, do whatever it is you do when you're not here. We'll work tomorrow.
Should we?
No. Spend the night with your family.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. I think we had a pretty good day. We got a hand to Ross, so he's pretty good.
Yes, 7 questions on the redirect and sent the jury to bed with the image that Walter Stone is the president's doctor. He said someone in his pocket 7 questions. I think he's just warming up.
I was depressing.
How much damage did I cause?
It doesn't matter.
Are you saying it doesn't matter because it's water under the bridge?
I'm saying it doesn't matter because there's nothing we can do about it, and we'll never know.
That's a good attitude. Good.
Why did you become a lawyer for the Navy?
They wouldn't let me fly the planes or drive the boats.
You were like 7 of the strangest women I've ever met.
I know. I'm the girl guys like you hated in the 6th grade.
Joe, you're the girl that guys like me tortured in the 6th grade. I'll see you tomorrow. Why do you hate them so much? I mean, why do you like them so much?
Because at this moment, there's probably no one in the world that Dawson dislikes. At this moment, he'd step in front of it without thinking twice.
Don't worry about the doctor. The trial starts Monday.
Can I help you?
Oh God, I hope so. I've been getting the runaround all morning. I'm Gilbert Hamilton, Baltimore Sun-Times.
Hey, great sports section.
Oh yeah, the best.
What can I do for you?
Well, I'm doing a 2-part feature on air travel around the Army bases, but I'm mostly focusing on Naval Air Station, Guantanamo Bay, and Andrews Air Force Base.
Sounds interesting.
I have a question. Do you keep on file a record of the incoming and outgoing flights?
We have copies of all the daily Power Chief logs.
Oh, isn't that right?
Sure, they list incoming and outgoing labs, passenger manifests. We just have the copies of the original state of the base.
That's no problem. I just need copies of the Tower Chief logs. for Guantanamo Bay and Andrews Air Force Base, the night of July 6th and the morning of July 7th.
Got it. The only thing is I need to see a fleet requisition form and a 710 signed by 2 officers over the rank of lieutenant.
Oh, hell.
I'm sorry, but I can't show you without a fleet requisition form and a 710.
I understand. Is the duty officer here?
No, sir. He's at a department meeting.
Is there anyone else I can speak to?
Not for another half an hour or so. Everyone's at lunch.
Where are the logbooks?
I'll do it again, sing it loud. 3, 4, count up, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lieutenant Captain, you prepared to call your first witness?
Yes, sir. Defense calls Corporal Howard.
Corporal Howard, for the record, did you state your full name, rank, and current billet, please?
Corporal Jeffrey Allen Howard, Marine Barracks Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Corporal Howard, are you a little nervous?
No, sir.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, sir, I'm fine, thank you.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you'd like a glass of water, I'd like
Judge,
to...
the witness has twice said he doesn't want any water.
Lieutenant!
Yes, sir. Corporal, you've been called in as a witness to give the court a better insight of the nature of the duties of the Marines at RC Windward. You should feel free to use the map behind you.
Yes, sir, it's very simple, really.
Corporal,
Sir?
you're gonna have to wait for me to ask you a question.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sorry, sir.
Would you explain the basic layout of the base?
Yes, sir, it's very simple, really. The base is divided into 2 halves, the divider being Guantanamo Bay. Each half of the base has its own rifle security company. On the right is leeward, and on the left is windward.
What are the functions of the Marines at RC Windward?
To provide ground support in case of an enemy engagement, to provide day-to-day security on the fence line.
And how long do the Marines spend on watch?
1 week on, 1 week off.
When on the fence, how long is each watch?
6 hours on, 6 hours off.
6 hours on, 6 hours off, 1 week on, 1 week off. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are the sentries armed?
Yes, sir.
With?
Sir?
What are the Marines armed with, Corporal?
Sir?
What are you armed with?
Weapons.
A pea shooter, a slingshot, a pocket knife?
Oh, no, sir. A pea shooter, a pocket knife? That was funny, sir.
Permission to lead the witness.
Violation if necessary.
You're armed with the M16 rifle and 30 to 60 rounds of ammunition. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what a code red is?
Yes, sir. A code red is a disciplinary engagement brought against a Marine who's fallen out of line.
Name some ways a Marine can fall out of line.
Being late for platoon or company meetings, keeping his barracks in a disorder, letting his personal appearance become some standard, behaving in a manner unbecoming a Marine, falling back on a run.
Have you ever received a code red?
Yes, sir.
Would you describe it?
I dropped my weapon during a field exercise one day. We were doing 7-man assault drills and my weapon slipped because it was over 100 degrees out. My palms were sweaty, sir.
What happened?
That night in my barracks, the guys threw a blanket over me and took turns punching me on for 5 minutes. Then they poured glue in my hands.
Okay.
And it worked too, because I ain't never dropped my weapon since.
Object.
We're gonna have to strike that last one, Corporal, but it was a nice try. What happened after they poured glue on your hands and punched you in the arms?
They took me to post 44 and bought me a beer.
They gave you a code red and then bought you a beer?
Yes, sir.
Were you acquainted with Private Santiago?
Yes, sir.
You came in contact with him every day?
Yes, sir.
You participated in drills together?
Yes, sir.
You were on the fence line together?
Yes, sir.
You shared the same barracks hall?
Yes, sir.
Was Santiago ever late for a platoon meeting?
Yes, sir.
Was his barracks ever in disorder?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever let his appearance become substandard?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever fall behind on a run?
All the time, sir.
In your estimation, did Santiago ever act in a manner unbecoming of a Marine?
Absolutely, sir, yes.
Prior to the night of July 6th, did Santiago ever receive a code red?
No, sir.
No? You got a code red because your palms are sweaty. Why didn't Santiago, this burden and embarrassment to his unit, never receive a code red?
Because Corporal Dawson wouldn't allow it.
Corporal Dawson wouldn't allow it?
How was Corporal Dawson, was Santiago's squad leader? He wouldn't let anyone come here. The guys, yeah, they talked tough about Santiago. When it came down to it, they wouldn't touch him. They were too afraid of Corporal Dawson, sir.
Object. Witness is characterizing.
I'll phrase my question. Corporal Howard, did you ever want to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Dawson had kicked my butt, sir.
Good enough. Lieutenant Ross is going to ask you some questions now.
Corporal, I hold here the Marine Corps Guide for New Recruits. Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, sir.
Have you read it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Flip to the chapter in the book that discusses code reds, please.
Sir?
Just flip to the page in the book that talks about code reds.
Code reds aren't in this book, sir.
I see. Let's turn then to the Marine Infantry Handbook. Can you turn to the chapter in this book that discusses code reds, please?
Well, you see, sir, code red is a Marine term we use down here at Gitmo. I mean, I don't know if it actually...
The Marine Corps Guide for Sentry Duty Naval Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm sure we can find the term code red and its definition in this book, and then we can move on. Am I correct, Corporal?
No, sir.
No? Corporal Howard, I'm a Marine. Is there no book, no pamphlet, no set of orders that tells me that as a Marine, one of my duties is to perform code reds?
No, sir. No book, sir.
No further questions.
Corporal Howard, can you please turn to the page in this book where it says they listed men as mess hall is?
Lieutenant Caffey, that's not in the book, sir.
No? You mean to tell the court that you've been stationed at Gitmo for 13 months and all that time you haven't had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day.
I'm confused. How do you know where the enlisted men's mess hall was if it's not in this book?
I guess I just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No further questions.
We'll take a 5-minute recess. Don't anyone go too far. Tune hut! As you were.
Start too long for a minute? That was nice work. Redirect on Howard.
Thank you.
I want this to end now. I don't want Kendrick to have to take the stand.
Yeah, he's a real day at the beach.
He's a bright, articulate, nothing left in the closet. And you're gonna make a meal out of him.
What are you getting at, Jack?
That's what I was gonna ask you. Look, you're putting on an entertaining defense that isn't going anywhere. You know, everybody expects you to do what you have to, but you look like you're starting to have fun with it, you're gonna find yourself practicing law off a weather ship on Bayonne, New Jersey.
We got 2 minutes into the Reverend Kendrick. What can I do for you?
Don't make him take the stand. I have to protect these guys. I can't have them looking like clowns. You know, you can tap dance around it all you want, but at the end of the day, all you have is the testimony of 2 men accused of murder.
Tell me about it.
You got bullied in this room. By Dawson, by Galloway, hell, I practically dare you. You got bullied into this room even though not for 1 second you thought you could win. You got bullied into this room by the memory of a lawyer who might have stood a chance.
You're a lousy softball player, Jack.
Tune hut!
You guys are going down. I can't stop it anymore.
Defense calls Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick.
Call Lieutenant Kendrick!
Lieutenant, for the record, could you state your full name, rank, and current billet, please?
Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick, Executive Officer, Rifle Security Company, Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Have a seat.
Lieutenant Kendrick, in your opinion, was Santiago a good Marine?
I will say he was about that.
You co-signed 3 proficiency and conduct reports. In all 3 reports, you indicated a rating of below average.
Yes, the Marine was below average. I just didn't see the need to transfer them in.
We appreciate that, but you're under oath now, and as unpleasant as it may be, I think we all just assume we get the truth.
I'm aware of my oath.
Lieutenant Kendrick, you signed 3 PROCON reports on Lance Corporal Dawson. On the last 3 reports, on the first 2 you received a rating of exceptional. But on this last report, dated June 9th, you received a rating of below average. Do you recall why you received such a low grade on this report?
I'm sure I don't. I have many men in my charge, Lieutenant. I write many reports.
Do you recall an incident involving a PFC Curtis Barnes who'd been caught stealing liquor from the Admiral's Cup?
Yes, I do.
Did you report Private Barnes to the authorities?
I have 2 books in my bedside, Lieutenant. The Marine Code of Conduct and the King James Bible. The only proper authorities I'm aware of are our commanding officer, Colonel Nathan R. Jessup, and the Lord our God.
At your request, I can have the record reflect your lack of acknowledgement of this court as a proper authority.
Objection. Argumentative.
Sustained. Watch yourself, Counselor.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Kendrick, wouldn't this form of punishment be considered a code red?
Not necessarily.
If I called the other 379 members of RSC, would they say this was a code red?
Please, the court. The witness can't possibly testify as to what 379 Marines would say. We object to this entire line of questioning as badgering and irrelevant badgering of the witness.
Lieutenant Caffey, I would remind you that you're currently questioning a Marine officer with an impeccable service record.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm overruling your objection.
Your Honor, I'm going to withdraw my question. Lieutenant Kendrick, did Dawson receive a poor grade on his last report because you've been discovering that he was sneaking food to Curtis Barnes?
Corporal Dawson was given a rating below average because he committed a crime.
What crime did he commit? Lieutenant Kendrick, Dawson brought a hungry guy some food. What crime did he commit?
He disobeyed an order.
And because he exercised his own set of values, he was punished. Is that right?
Corporal Dawson disobeyed an order.
Yeah, but it wasn't a real order, was it? He wasn't being asked to secure a hill or radio for battalion aid. I mean, surely a Marine of Dawson's obvious skill and intelligence can determine on his own which orders he's going to follow and which orders might be, say, illegal? Lieutenant Kendrick, can Dawson determine on his own which orders he's going to follow?
No, he cannot.
A lesson he learned after the Curtis Barnes incident.
I would think so.
You know so, don't you, Lieutenant?
Object.
Sustained.
One final question, Lieutenant Kendrick. If you gave Dawson an order to give Private Santiago a code red,
I told him not to touch
is there reason
Santiago.
to think that he could have disobeyed you again?
Lieutenant, don't answer that.
You don't have to, I'm through.
Did you order the defendants to give Willie Santiago a code red? Lieutenant Kendrick, did you order?
No, I did not.
This is outside the door. It's marked urgent and personal.
What is it?
I don't know. My provision's failing me today. Remember the damn thing.
Hey, Mr. Sunshine.
Knock it off. Anyone want anything from the kitchen?
You, please.
Sam?
I'll have you.
You want a yoo-hoo?
Yeah?
Okay.
I want a yoo-hoo. Is that such a big deal? He asked for you, and it's like he's asking for the correct time. I asked for you, and the whole world's coming to an end.
Hey, what's in the envelope? Danny?
It's from Mawkins.
To Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel A. Caffey, United States Naval Reserve, Judge Advocates General Corps. Lieutenant Caffey, I know the following to be true. Colonel Jessup had no intention of transferring Private Santiago off the base. The transfer order you secured was written the morning of your arrival, 6 days after Santiago's death. Colonel Jessup claims that the 0600 was the first available transportation off the base. That's a lie. There was a flight that left 7 hours earlier for Andrews Air Force Base. I have enclosed the 2 Tower Chief logs of Guantanamo Bay and Andrews Air Force Base. You'll notice in the Guantanamo log, Colonel Jessup has removed the departure entry, but the arrival entry is still in the Andrews log. Lieutenant, please don't waste valuable time trying to find me. Save these men. Always. Captain Matthew Andrew Markins, United States Marine Corps.
Son of a... I don't believe this. Son of a... Call the GOD. Save the misgame.
We're home. I've got to go tell Loudon.
Don't bother. I need you to pull every string you can. FBI, CIA, get our own guys when we have to. We need Markson, we have to have him.
Why? We have the logbooks in the letter.
The letter's typed, and there's no signature.
They're not admissible.
A Navy orderly was held up at gunpoint by a man posing as a reporter to the Baltimore Sun-Times.
We can find Markinson. How hard can it be?
Don't bother. Jessup probably already knows about the robbery and fixed the logbooks. I bet money on it.
Jessup can just fix logbooks? Why can't we find Markinson?
He walked into the Pentagon and stole government property at gunpoint. And we didn't know about it until he sent us a note.
And Jessup can just fix logbooks.
Is Downey right?
Yes.
Is he solid?
Absolutely.
Do you think we can find Markinson?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
We don't have a discovery obligation. Keep this from Ross for 24 hours. Defense calls PFC loud and down.
Would you raise your right hand and place your left hand on this Bible? Do you swear that the testimony you will give in this general court martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, I was William's company commander. I knew your son vaguely, which is to say I knew his name. In a matter of time, the trial of the 2 men charged with your son's death will be concluded. And 7 men and 2 women, whom you've never met, will try to offer you an explanation to why William is dead. Most likely, they will offer you many explanations. For my part, I've done what I can to bring the truth to light. Not in the uniform that I've served for in 21 years, but in costumes and shadows. I was a defender. And now, I'm being pursued by the Naval Investigative Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the military police. And I cannot possibly do this anymore. Because the truth is, to why your son is dead, I wasn't strong enough to stop it. Always, Captain Matthew Andrew Markinson, United States Marine Corps.
Private, I just have one more question for you. Why did you give Private Santiago a code red?
I was given an order by Lieutenant Kendrick.
Private, for the day of 6 July, the switch log has you down at post 39 until 1600. Is that correct?
Sure it is, sir. Keep that lock pretty good.
About how far is post 39 from Wilmer Barracks?
It's a ways, sir. It's a hike.
About how far by Jeep?
About 10, 15 minutes.
Have you ever had to walk it?
Yes, sir. That day, Friday, I was EDO. The pickup private, sir. That's the guy who drops us at our post and picks us up. Also, cleaned get all the girls in New York City. Pickup got a flat, right at 39. He pulled up and blam. A blow, no spare. The 2 of us had double time back to the barracks.
And if it's 10 or 15 minutes by Jeep, it must be a good hour by foot, like close.
Pickup, I did a 45 flat, sir.
Not bad. And you said that your assault on Santiago was the result of a platoon meeting given at 1620.
Sir.
You just said you didn't make it back to the Wilmer Barracks until 1645.
You see, sir, there was a flat tire.
How could you be at a platoon meeting at 1620 if you weren't back to the Wilmer Barracks at 1645?
Ma'am.
Please, the court.
I'd like to request an order to confer with my client.
Who told you to give Santiago the code red?
Ma'am.
Private Downey has rights.
Private Downey has been read his rights.
Your Honor.
The question will be repeated.
Did Lieutenant Kendrick ever tell you to give Santiago the code red?
How?
Take your seat.
Who told you to give Santiago the code red? Did Dawson tell you to do it? Don't look at him. Look at me.
Sir.
Private! Answer Lieutenant's question.
Yes, Lieutenant. I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson of the United States Marine Corps, and I followed it.
What are you gonna do when you get back? What are you gonna do when you get back? Take a shower and hit the rack. Take a shower and hit the rack. Oh no, not me. Oh no, not us. What are you gonna do when we get back? Polish up for sneak attack.
Where do you think he is? As far as Downey was concerned, it was an order from Kendrick. He never distinguished between... Danny, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Sam and I were just talking about how all we really need to do is put some witnesses on the stand who can talk about implied orders. Or maybe we put Dawson back on the stand and then we go to Downey.
Maybe if we work at it, we could get him charged with kidnapping the Lindbergh baby.
Are you drunk?
Pretty much.
I'll make a pot of coffee. We've got a long night's work ahead.
She's gonna make a pot of coffee. He wasn't at the meeting. He wasn't even there. That was a pretty important piece of information, don't you think?
It was just a setback. We fixed it and we get to Markinson.
Markinson's dead. He got into full dress uniform, drew a nickel-plated revolver from his holster, and fired a bullet into his brain. He was at the Beltway Motor Lodge. It's a few blocks from here. Anyway, since we seem to be out of witnesses, I thought I'd drink a little.
I still think we can win.
Maybe you should drink a little too.
We go to Randolph right now. We get a 24-hour continuance.
What? Why would we do that?
To subpoena Colonel Jessup.
No! What?
Just hear me out.
No,
hear
I
me
won't
out.
listen to you, and I won't hear you out, Joe. Your passion is compelling, but it's also useless. Because today, Loudon and Downey needed a trial lawyer.
You walk away from this now. You've sealed their fate.
Their fate was sealed the moment Santiago died.
You have to call Jessup.
I don't have to do jack.
Why did you ask for the transfer?
What are you talking
In Cuba. Why did you ask next? Why?
I wanted a damn transfer.
No. You could have gotten it by calling any one of a dozen departments at the Pentagon. You didn't want the transfer order. You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for it. You had an instinct and it was confirmed by Markinson. Now damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this thing.
What good will possibly come from putting Jessup on the stand?
He told Kendrick to order the code red.
He did? Well, why didn't you say so? I assume you have proof. Oh wait, I forgot. You weren't there the day they taught law. At law school.
You put him on the stand and you get it from him.
We get it from him, yes, of course. Colonel Jessup, is it true that you ordered a code red, of course the doctored the logbook, and forged the transfer order? I'm sorry, your time is up. What do we have for the losers, Judge? Well, for the defendants, it's a lifetime at Fort Exotic Leavenworth. Well, every day is Valentine's Day for our handsome young Marines. And for Lieutenant Caffey, that's right, it's a court-martial. Yes, Johnny, after falsely accusing a highly decorated officer of conspiracy and perjury, Daniel Caffey of a long and prosperous career teaching typewriter maintenance at the Rogo Colombo School for Women. Thank you for playing. Now should we, or should we not, follow the advice of the glockily stupid?
I'm sorry I lost you to some steak knives.
Get out. Sam, stop cleaning up. Sam, stop. Want a drink? No. Is your father proud of you, Sam?
Don't do this to yourself.
Is he very proud of you?
Yeah.
I'll bet he is. I bet he bores the shit out of the neighbors. Aunts, uncles. Sam ain't lot of you. Sam's got a big case. He's arguing. He's making an argument. I think my father would have enjoyed seeing me graduate from law school. I think you would like that an awful lot. Do you know the man spent half his life defending the Constitution, the other half trying to prove he wasn't a communist? He died young, and he died tired. I'm very angry about that, Sam.
Listen, we would have been proud of you yesterday. You should have seen yourself under way, Kendrick. It was sight to see. We would have been proud of you yesterday.
What about today?
Today you did the best you could.
We should talk to Dawson.
I don't miss being in charge of socks and underwear.
What?
Oh, I was just making a dumb...
Socks and underwear.
Yeah?
In the file, Joe had the inventory of the Foot Locker. What do you... Name the people that knew Santel was going to be transferred.
Jessup.
Right.
Kendrick.
Who else?
And Markinson.
And Willie Santiago.
What?
Willie Santiago knew he was going to be transferred. Why this took me 5 weeks to figure out is beyond, but given time, I'll find a way to blame it on you. I need you to prep me on Jessup and need Joe to get a continuance. Let's go.
What the hell are you talking about?
I think that Colonel Jessup wants to admit it.
You think you just got to say it?
I think he's pissed off that he's got to hide it from us. I think he wants to say that he made a command decision and that's the end of it. He eats 80 yards and 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill him, and no one's going to tell him how to run his unit, especially not a pushy broad, a smart Jew in a Harvard mouth. If I can make him defend himself, if I can just get him to defend himself, he'll make you order the code red. Let's go.
You still need a window. He has no weakness. He won't let you near him.
He has a weakness.
What?
He thinks he was right. Let's go. Have you heard the story about Lieutenant Commander Galloway?
I believe I have, Danny.
Story of current conviction, is it not?
Right you are. Commander Galloway had a question she wanted the Colonel to answer.
This girl's a very intimidating character, I've heard.
Well, sure, to some people he's the stuff which nightmares are made out of.
But not to Commander Galloway.
No, sir, because Commander Galloway ain't scared of nothing. She had a question, she was going to get an answer. She was confident, she was relentless, and she did her job.
What do you want?
I'd like to talk about PFC Donnelly and Dawson. Downey.
You know, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I know, I can't accept that. You see, we've braved through extraordinary elements to get here. I ran out of gas halfway up A Street. Sam had to walk a quarter of a mile to get gas. Anyway, the wife and I were thinking about going to court tomorrow, saving our clients' lives, maybe sicking a few homicidal maniacs behind bars to boot. What do you say we thought you might want to join?
I can't seem to defend people.
I'm sorry to hear that, Joanne. You're my hero. From the first day you were a lawyer. Live with that.
Tin Hat!
Lieutenant Captain, you prepared to call your witness?
I was supposed to do a good task
For a dismissal at this point.
I'm glad to see you still have your sense of humor, Lieutenant.
Defense calls Colonel Nathan Jessup.
Colonel Nathan Jessup is called.
Would you raise your right hand and place your left hand on this Bible? Do you swear that the testimony you will give in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, please?
Colonel Nathan Robert Jessup, Commanding Officer, Marine Ground Forces, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Colonel, when you learned of Santiago's letter to the NIS, you had a meeting with your two senior officers, is that right?
Yes.
The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, and the company commander, Captain Matthew Markinson.
That's right.
And at present, Captain Markinson is dead.
Objection. I'd like to know exactly what the defense counsel is applying.
I'm simply applying that At present, Captain Markinson is not alive.
Surely Colonel Jessup didn't need to appear in this court to convey that information.
I just wasn't sure if the witness is aware that 2 days ago, Captain Markinson took his own life with a .45 caliber pistol.
The witness is aware, the court is aware, and now the jury is aware. We thank you for bringing this to our attention. Move on, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel, at the time of the meeting, you gave an order to Lieutenant Kendrick, is that right?
I ordered Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago was not to be touched.
And you gave an order to Captain Markinson as well?
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transfer off the base immediately.
Why?
I feared his life might be in danger once the word of the letter got out.
Grave danger?
Is there any other kind?
Colonel, you and Captain Markinson co-signed a transfer order for Santiago to leave on a flight leaving Guantanamo at 6 a.m. the next morning. Was this the first flight off the base?
The O600 was the first flight off the base.
Colonel, you took a flight early this morning to Washington, is that right?
Yes.
I see you're wearing your Class A dress uniform to your appearance in court today.
As are you, Lieutenant.
Did you wear that on the plane?
Please, the court, is this dialogue relevant to anything in particular?
The witness, the defense have the chance to depose the witness. We asked the court for a little latitude.
Very little latitude.
Colonel?
I wore fatigues on the plane.
And you brought your suit with you?
That's right.
Socks, shaving kit, change of underwear?
Please, the court,
is the colonel's underwear a matter of national security?
Get somewhere fast with this, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel?
I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Thank you. After Dawson and Downey's arrest, Santiago's barracks room was sealed and the contents inventoried. 4 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 4 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of
boots. Is there a question anyone?
Lieutenant, I'm going to have to.
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. Your Honor, we have the telephone records from Gitmo and all the calls made out in the past 24 hours. After being subpoenaed in Washington, you made 3 phone calls. I've highlighted these phone calls in yellow. Would you tell me, do you recognize these numbers?
The first call was to Colonel Fitzhughes in Quantico, Virginia to let him know I'd be in town. The second call was to Congressman Richmond of the House Armed Services Committee. And the third call was to my sister Elizabeth.
Why did you make that call, sir?
I thought she might like to have dinner tonight.
Your Honor.
I'm going to put a stop to this now.
Your Honor, in just a moment. Sorry, Your Honor. Your Honor, these are the telephone records from Gitmo on the night of the 6th. And these are 14 letters that Santiago wrote in 9 months requesting, in fact, begging for a transfer off the base. Upon hearing that Santiago was finally going to be transferred, Santiago was so excited. Do you know how many people he called? 0. Nobody. Not one call to his parents saying, he was finally getting out. Not one call to his friend saying, can you pick me up from the airport? Santiago was in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was leaving on a flight in 6 hours. And everything he owned was packed neatly in his footlocker and hung neatly in his closet. You were leaving on a flight for 1 day, and you packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life. And he had to pack the thing, and he had to call the soul. Can you explain that? The fact is, Santiago wasn't going anywhere. Isn't that right?
Object, Your Honor. It's obvious that Lieutenant Caffey's intention in the stay was to smear a high-ranking Marine officer in the hope that the mere appearance of impropriety would win the points of the jury. It's my opinion that the witness be excused with our deepest apologies and Lieutenant Caffey be reprimanded for his conduct.
Overruled.
Your Honor,
the objection's noted.
Is this funny, sir?
No, it's not.
Do you want to answer my question?
Absolutely. My answer is that I'm the first damn clue. Maybe he was an early riser and liked to pack in the morning. Maybe he didn't have any friends. I'm an educated man, but I'm sorry I can't speak intelligently about the tribal habits of William T. Santiago. But what I can tell you is that he was set to leave the base at 0600. Now, were these really the questions I was called in to answer? Phone bills and footlockers? Please tell me you have something more for me, Lieutenant. 2 Marines are on trial for their lives. Please tell me the lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill. Do you have any other questions for me, Counselor?
Lieutenant Coffey? Lieutenant, do you have any further questions for the witness?
Thanks, Danny. I love Washington.
Excuse me? I didn't dismiss you.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not through with my examination. I didn't dismiss you. Sit down.
Colonel.
What's that?
I would like the man to address me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
Defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
I don't know what kind of outfit you're running here.
And the witness will address the court as Judge, Your Honor. I'm quite certain I've earned it. Take your seat, Colonel.
What would you like to discuss now, my favorite color?
Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight, it was the first off the base?
Yes.
There wasn't a flight that left 7 hours earlier and landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.?
Lieutenant, I thought we covered this.
Your Honor, in just a moment, the defense will be calling Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Press to the stand. Airman O'Malley and Press working the ground crew on the morning of the 7th.
Your Honor, these men weren't on the list.
Rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor, called specifically to refute testimony given under direct examination.
I'll allow the witnesses.
Colonel, a moment ago...
Check the tower logs for Christ's sake.
We'll get to the airmen in just a minute, sir. Colonel, a moment ago, you said that you gave Lieutenant Kendrick an order to tell his men not to touch Santiago. Is that right?
That's right.
And Kendrick was clear on what you wanted?
Crystal.
Any chance he ignored the order?
Ignored the order.
Any chance he forgot about it?
No.
Any chance he left your office and said, the old man's wrong?
No.
When Kendrick told the men not to touch Santiago, any chance they ignored him?
Have you ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in the forward order?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands and ask him to put his in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. Colonel, I just have one final question. If you ordered that Santiago wasn't to be touched, why would it be necessary for him to be transferred off the base?
Sorry, would you repeat that?
If you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched...
Private Santiago was being transferred because it's a substitute.
No, that's not what you said. You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
Yes, that's
correct. I said danger. You said grave danger.
I know what I said.
I can have the court.
I know what I said. I don't need to write back.
Then why the 2 orders? Colonel, why did you?
Sometimes men take matters in their own hands.
No, sir, you made it clear just a moment ago that your men never take matters in their own hands. Your men follow orders or people die. So Santiago shouldn't have been in any danger. Shouldn't have been, Colonel. It's a paradox.
You little
paradox.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to my question, Judge.
That makes 2 of us.
Colonel, if you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base? Colonel, Kendrick ordered the code red because that's what you told him to do. When things went bad, you cut these guys loose. You and Marcus decided to finish transport. You caused the doctor. You doctored the lobby. You would answer and entitle them.
You would answer.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Because the truth is that we live in a world that has walls. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it. Because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as a backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I will prefer you said thank you and went along your way. Otherwise, I suggest you grab a weapon and stand post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
You ordered the code red.
I did the job.
You ordered the code red!
You're goddamn right I did!
Please, the court. I suggest the members be dismissed at this time so we can move to the immediate Article 39A session. The witness has his rights, Jack.
The sergeant officer will take the members to an anteroom where we wait until
What the hell's going on?
instructions.
Captain, what the hell's going on? I'm not familiar with Article 39A. I did my job. I'm doing it. I do it again. I'm getting on a plane and going back to my base.
Guard the prisoner!
What?
MPs guard the prisoner.
I ordered a code red and everyone's going to pieces like a damn
Colonel,
lady
you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do or say
I'm being charged with a crime.
Court of law or other.
That's what this is?
Proceeding.
This is funny. That's what this is.
This lawyer may be a civilian lawyer.
I'm going to bars on your skull. You messed with the wrong Marine.
Lieutenant, do you understand these rights?
You people, you have no idea how to defend a nation. All you did was weaken a country today, Cappy. That's all you did. Give yourself a pat on the back, son. Sweet dreams.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and officer of the United States Navy. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch. The witness is dismissed.
On the charge of murder in the second degree, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conduct of conspiracy to commit murder, the defendants are found not guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, members are found. On the charge of conduct unbecoming of a United States Marine, the defendants are found not guilty. The defendants are hereby sentenced to time served in the brig up until this point and dishonorable discharge from the United States Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
No, Harold.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Colonel, just say you're the code red.
Look.
No, Colonel, just say you're the code red. What do we do wrong?
That's Dawson. Nothing wrong. The jury said your conduct on becoming a Marine. What does that mean? You're the lawyer. You're the Marine.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
Look, it means you beat the shit out of the wrong guy.
I'm serious. What does that mean?
Really, stop asking that.
Cappy, I gotta take these guys down to the personnel for some paperwork.
Harold.
Sir.
You don't have to wear a patch on your arm to have armor.
Tin Hut! There's an officer on deck. Sir, permission to dismiss.
You're dismissed.
Airman Cecil O'Malley and Anthony Perez. What are they, second base and shortstop with the Toledo Mud Hens?
I wouldn't lie to the court, Jack. Airman Cecil O'Malley and Perez were working the ground crew on the morning of the 7th.
And they saw the plane land.
I didn't say that.
Good job.
People out of case, Jack.
See you on the campus.
Tell Kendrick I say hi.
So, how about a celebration? I'm buying, Sam?
No, thank you. I'm gonna go home and talk to my daughter. She's gotta be bilingual by now.
So, what's next for you?
Hector Baines was caught going to move on company time. How about you?
You know, the usual.
Just annoying people?
So, how about it? You wanna have a drink?
I'm gonna get started on Hector Baines. Stay on my post for a while.
You're like 7 of the strangest men I have ever met.
Lift your head and lift it high. Daniel Caffey's walking by.